If two couples go to a deserted place to enjoy themselves, there you see innocent children, but they are not innocent at all. Those children just look small, but they have the power of a 30 or 40-year-old person. In the beginning of the movie we are shown two couples, Steve and Janie. Steve and Janie love each other a lot, and they both are going to a lake for vacation. Steve plans to take Janie to that place and propose her there. Now both of them reach the town where that lake is. On reaching the town, they stop at a motel to spend the night. The next morning they leave for Eden Lake, but then on the way they see a board of Eden Lake. According to that signboard, they will have to go inside the forest to go near Eden Lake. Steve takes the car inside the forest and they both reach Eden Lake. On the way they meet a small child named Adam. They both try to talk to Adam, but Adam does not answer anything they say. After reaching the lake, Steve and Jenny start enjoying themselves, but then some small children come there. Those children harass another small child, Adam, and chase him away from there. Jenny lies down near the lake with her eyes closed, but then a dog comes near her and starts barking. Jenny gets very scared, but then those children call their dog back. This dog also belonged to those children. Steve ignores this and goes inside the lake, but as soon as Steve leaves, the dog comes back. Again, those boys were deliberately harassing Jenny through the dog. Now Steve goes to those boys to make them understand. The leader of those boys was Brett. Brett starts making fun of Steve and Jenny. Steve had understood that there is no use in making these children understand. He starts coming back from there. Steve starts relaxing. But then Brad gives Jenny a big slap. Jenny did not pay much attention to this and wore her clothes. Now finally those boys started leaving from there, but while leaving they started making fun of Steve and Jenny. Both of them ignored this and those boys went to their home. Steve and Jenny had planned to spend the night on the lake. Steve started setting up the tent and Jenny started searching for wood so that they could light a campfire at night. While searching for wood, Jenny heard some sounds from the forest, but she ignored those sounds. Jenny and Steve enjoyed a lot at night. Both of them were sitting in front of the fire and having fun, but Jenny was feeling repeatedly that there was someone inside the forest. Next morning when both of them woke up, they saw that all their food had been spoiled. Now they decided that they would go back to the town for breakfast. Like Steve, he starts his car. The tire gets punctured. He sees that someone had already placed a glass bottle under their car. Steve understands that this is the work of those boys and they were in the same jungle at night. He changes the tire of his car and both of them leave for the town. As soon as they reach the town, Steve sees those boys. Steve starts chasing them, but those boys run away from there. Now Steve and Jenny go to a shop. Both of them start buying some eatables from there. Then Steve asks the shop owner about those children. He tells that we saw some children who are very rude, but the shop owner shouts at Steve. Now Steve and Jenny leave the shop. Steve and Jenny are going back to the lake, but then they see those boys' bicycle lying outside the house. On the way, he understands that those boys live in this house. He goes inside that house to spy, but there is no one in that house. Steve enters that house, but then the owner of that house reaches there. Steve goes and hides in the upstairs room and he sees that this house belongs to Brett and the owner of that house is Brett's father. Steve tries to save himself. He jumps out of the window. Steve runs and sits in the car and Jenny starts the car and starts driving it back to the lake. Now both of them come to the lake and start preparing their breakfast. But Jenny notices that her purse was not kept there. The car keys and their mobile phones were inside her purse. Both of them run to check their car, but their car was not parked there. Now both of them were scared and understand that it is not right to stop at this lake. Both of them start walking from there, but then someone comes and tries to hit them with their car. Both of them somehow escape and the same boys were inside their car. Those boys run away from there with their car. Steve starts chasing them. It was quite late while chasing them. After searching for a long time, Steve finds those Children. Steve calmly talks to those children's Teve asks for his car keys. Steve asks Brett for his car, but Brett says that I don't have a car. Steve says that our phones are with you, but Brett says that I don't have them either. Janie had understood that those kids will not listen like this, they will have to bring the police there. Then Steve's phone starts ringing in Brett's pocket. Steve moves towards Brett to take his phone, but then Brett attacks him. One of Brett's friends takes out a knife. He was about to kill Steve, but while defending himself it hits Steve's dog by mistake. His dog dies. Steve and Janie take their car keys and start running away from there. They both find a car, they both sit inside the car, but after the death of his dog, Brett was very angry and he starts chasing them. Steve's car gets stuck in a ditch. The boys reach there and they start throwing stones at Steve's car, which breaks the front glass, but Steve somehow starts the car and starts driving away from there. He was not able to see anything because of the broken front glass. Then the car hits a tree and the branch of that tree hits Steve. Janie sees that she is completely fine, but Steve's condition is very bad. To get him out of there, he will need the help of a third person. Steve sends Janie to get help. As soon as Janie gets out of the car, those boys also reach there. Janie hides there. Janie remains hidden there the whole night. Now when it is day, she comes back to her car, but she sees that Steve is missing from there. Janie sees some blood marks on the ground. She follows those blood marks and reaches a place. She sees that they had tied Steve with a razor wire, due to which there were many wounds on his body. Brett is torturing Steve. At the same time, Brett's friend Cooper gets angry with Steve. He goes to convince Brett, but Brett starts hitting him instead. Now Brett gives Cooper a knife and tells him that this is your punishment, this is that you go and make a lot of cuts on Steve's body. Cooper stabs Steve's body even though he doesn't want to. Now Brett tells all his friends one by one to stab Cooper's body. Brett's female friend Paige was also there. She saves all their stuff in her phone. She was recording the incident. Now all the boys started stabbing Steve brutally on his body one by one. They were stabbing him at different places. One boy put a knife inside his mouth. Janie was standing far away and watching all this. She connected her phone to Steve's Bluetooth and tried to call the police, but Steve's phone was with Brett. Brett finds out that Janie is also there. They all left to search for Janie. Here Steve somehow frees himself and runs away from there. On the other side, all the boys were after Janie. Janie runs and reaches a cabin. She sees that a walkie-talkie was kept inside the cabin. She tries to pick up that walkie-talkie, but in a hurry it falls down and breaks. Meanwhile, all the boys reach there. Janie hides to save herself from them. They were searching for Janie and Jenny was hiding there, but then Brett gets a call from his friend and he comes to know that Steve has also fled from there. So now all of them go to catch Steve. On the other side, Steve had reached his car. He came inside the car to take the first aid box, but as soon as he opens the car, its security alarm starts ringing and all the boys come to know. Steve goes to find out where Steve is and starts running away from there, but on the way he meets Jenny too. Jenny and Steve run away from there. There they both see a Kevin. Jenny takes Steve inside the Kevin. Jenny starts putting bandages on Steve's body, but his wounds were very deep and a lot of blood was flowing from them. Due to the excessive bleeding, his whole body started getting cold. Jenny has to take him to the hospital as soon as possible. Jenny's hand is placed on Steve's pocket. She sees that there is a ring inside his pocket. She understands that Steve was going to propose her before both of them could run away from there. All the boys reach there. They all enter the cabin, but there is no one inside the cabin. Actually, Jenny was hiding in the water under the same cabin with Steve. When they all leave from there, Jenny comes out with Steve and hides him in the bushes. Because Steve was not in a condition to walk anymore, she hides Steve in the bushes and goes to get help. Janie sees an electricity tower and electricity always goes inside the town. She starts following those towers, but while running she gets an iron object stuck in her. Legit enters. Janie feels a lot of pain and screams. Hearing her voice, everyone starts coming towards her. Now Janie tries to take out that sharp object by hiding, but that object was not coming out of her leg, so she has to pass that iron object completely through her leg, due to which that object comes out of her leg. Janie starts moving forward while painting. On the way she meets the same child, Adam, whom we saw in the beginning of the movie. Janie asks Adam for the way out. Adam starts taking her, but Adam stops on the way and starts using his mobile. Janie understands that Adam is also going to call someone. Janie starts snatching his phone, but by then Adam had messaged Brett. Now everyone reaches there. They beat Janie and make her unconscious. When Janie opens her eyes, she was tied in a place. Steve was also tied behind her. She sees that Steve was probably dead. Now all the boys were going to burn him. Steve was dead, but they were burning Jenny alive. Brett threatens Adam and asks him to burn her, and Adam sets fire to Steve's body. As soon as Steve burns Jenny's, rope also burns. Janie sets fire all around, which gives her a chance to escape, but Brett catches Adam and threatens him that if she does not return he will burn Adam alive. Janie hears it and stops, but sees that by then Brett had burnt Adam alive. Janie escapes from there and runs away. On the way she sees a map of the forest. She breaks the glass and takes out the map. Just then Janie hears the voice of those boys. Janie hides inside a dustbin lying near her, inside which there was a lot of old garbage. After those boys leave, Janie comes out of that garbage. Janie finds pieces of glass there. She tears her clothes and sticks them in the glass, which becomes a weapon for her. Janie is standing there, but then Cooper reaches there. Cooper was a simple boy, but Janie does not understand anything, and in a hurry she puts the glass in Cooper's neck. Janie regrets her words, but she could not do anything. She has to run away from there. At night they all find Cooper's dead body. Now they were even more angry with this, but one of Brett's friends was scared and he did not want to die, so he starts leaving from there. Brett tries to stop him, but he does not listen to Brett. Brett beats him so much that he kills him. Seeing this, Paige, she was also very scared and she runs away from there. On the other side, Janie is running inside the jungle, and then she sees a car coming from the jungle. She asks for a lift from the man sitting inside the car, and he makes her sit inside the car, but that boy was driving the car inside the jungle instead of going out. Janie comes to know from his talk that he is the brother of those boys and he has come to the jungle to find them, but he does not know who Janie is. Janie takes advantage of this, and as soon as he leaves she takes his card and goes from there, but then Paige comes in front of Janie. Janie, without understanding anything, runs her over with the car, due to which Paige also dies. Now Janie moves forward from there and reaches inside the town. She sees that a party was going on at a place. She reaches inside that party where there were a lot of people. Then Janie faints. When Janie regains consciousness, there are many people standing in front of her. They are helping Janie, but then Janie realizes that the house belongs to none other than Brett. Then a call comes inside the house, and that call was from Brett. Brett tells his mom that a girl has killed all his friends. Brett's mom understands that the girl is none other than Jenny. Jenny runs and locks herself inside a washroom to save herself. Then Brett's father breaks the lock of that bathroom. Jenny sees that Brett had also reached there. Jenny tells them everything from the beginning, but no one believes her. Now all the boys drag her inside the bathroom. We hear Jenny's screaming from inside the bathroom. On the other side, Brett deletes all the video recordings from his phone. Now he had erased all the evidence. With this, the movie ends here.